All right, you guys. Hopefully, y'all can hear me. Hi, Kristoff. Hi, Travis. So, we have a few cameras going today. Hopefully, it goes well. So, tonight we are cooking um, steak, homemade mac and cheese, and asparagus. And so, first, we have a pan of water, which I'm going to blanch the asparagus in, pull out like without draining it, and leave this water for the pasta. Hi, Big Top. Asparagus is one of my favorites too. So, my bad. I gave you like a hand cam. um, I have a cast iron for the hydrate. I don't. Oh, Piccolo! Hey, Mr. Fulkett's here. All right, I will. Okay, I'll procure a drink. Actually, what up? I'm actually gonna be right back, you guys. I'm gonna go get my drink from upstairs. So, one moment. All right, I have my drink. What's good, everybody? Okay, with the steak, we're gonna have onions and mushrooms with it. So, one, let's start heating up this pan here. And two, we're going to start prepping our vegetables. Now, how did my stream crash? Or the stream element's like late? Either way. So, the way, I don't know if you can see on the hand cam, probably not, I was just doing it. So, how you determine where to snap, you just take the end and you take the middle, and right where like it gets hard, just snap it here. Thank you for feeding Crab Ragoony. Also, because I am streaming on both platforms, I can't see some of my activity log. So you guys have to shout out if something super cool happens. Yeah, so we're gonna take all these. I like to do it by hand so that because each one's probably slightly different. This whole thing shouldn't take too long. Um, we're gonna be using 3 kinds of cheeses for the mac and cheese. But what does everybody else have for dinner today? And hope everybody's holiday went well. What? Eminem flip it around is WW Wicked Witch? What? Also, Piccolo, I thought it was pretty ballsy of you to post that CIA stand was your #1 emo in Enoch's Discord. But I didn't want to like it or like acknowledge it because every time I'm slightly active in his Discord, he times me out. So yeah, I was like, oh, look at Piccolo, friggin' flexing. Cheese and some ramen noodles. He really is evil to me, which is crazy because he only started streaming because after I met him, I was like, yeah, I'm a streamer, this and that, and then he was like, oh, and then he became a streamer. But you know, he's wicked evil. He's a salty, salty boy. I like Cheez-Its, Mr. Bucket. I know how to make Cheez-Its from scratch. Yeah, don't tell him that. So yeah, I like to keep these bits right here. I don't know if y'all can see it. I like to keep these bits for my goats, and we feed them that. So I'm going to take all of the bottoms that I put to the side back in the bag to give to the animals. Now that the asparagus is prepped, we're going to stop prepping, or at least peeling, oh, the onions. What a present. Oh, no. So with onions, because we're just going to be dicing them up, I'm going to leave the skin on just to make it easier for me to peel. I don't know if y'all can see the skin. Yeah, you can see that. Perfect. So here's the root of it, and there's the top. And you want to cut it right in half alongside it, like with the grain. That makes it so much easier to peel. I'll do it over the trash. And this one's already peeled. Right. Again, just with thing. Real easy to crack it open. And now, because my hands are covered in onion juices, I'm going to wash them real quick. One moment. Okay. Um, so Now with the onions, of just the tops of them, I cut that right off. I leave the root part for towards the end. It just keeps them all together. It makes it easier to dice up. Hi, how are you? Let me give Dead Song a shout out. So y'all might not know Dead Song. He's very new to Twitch, but he's not new to me, and I would appreciate it. Everybody would follow him. He is a streamer from Tennessee. He does all sorts of different things. He plays on Xbox. He does dancing and music. He's also unaffiliated. And once he gets his setup a bit done a little bit better, a little bit, well, not better, but easier, because he doesn't have like the Discord groups or anything. He's definitely gonna be in all the networking groups that I'm in. But currently, he has less than 10 followers, so if you could spread that love, I would appreciate it. And now we're gonna turn on the skillet. Actually, we're not, because I wanted to blanch. No, it's fine. We'll blanch those at the end. So yeah, the skillet on medium. It's gonna heat up. Hey, Ryan. Ooh, Houndoom's in the chat, you guys. Lay down. Yeah, I probably. Yeah, what I might do is I have this bowl here. I think I'm gonna just dice up the onions just to put them away. So once again, the root is still on, right? Of course. And we're gonna do long, like almost all the way to the root. We're gonna keep like maybe like a centimeter. I don't know if you saw this, like right here. We're gonna go right. That water should almost be ready to boil for the asparagus. We're just gonna blanch the asparagus and put it to the side. But yeah, so we did long strands. Then we're gonna turn it this way. See me turning? And we're gonna dice it up. I'll hold it here. I usually like to keep them like shoestrings, but with the steak bites being so small, I want to make sure that the onions. And then you just take that little piece of root, put to the side for compost or whatever. Now with the smaller ones, you might get too close. And I'm definitely going to have to go wash my hands again after this because the onions are already getting to my eyes. Oh, take a break. Rinse my hands. So, contrary to what people think, it's actually the smell of the onions that make your eyes water. So, yeah. Do that with you. A lot of people end up rinsing onions first. I prefer just to have a reason to cry. We are doing asparagus, steak bites, and homemade mac and cheese with 3 kinds of cheese. Once again, so you can move out a centimeter from root. Yep, we have beautifully chopped up onions. I'm actually gonna put this half of onion in a bag. Go. Here we go. There we go. Yeah, I'm gonna put this away. Actually, I want to make sure there it gets out. Check it on this water. See that? That's a soft boiled, which we could let to continue to soft boil while I get the seasonings for the onions and mushrooms. Thank you. So from that, fairly simple. Worcestershire sauce. I don't know this. Worcestershire sauce. And then I'm probably gonna put Italian type seasonings in with the mac and cheese, like in the cheese sauce when we start using. Well, the technique I'm gonna use is it's called double boiling. So you need a metal bowl over a pan, like sealed. I'll show you. Like this. See how it's like seals? That way, this is what's called, it's a cooking technique called double boil. And that's what we're going to be making the cheese sauce in. Hi, Tay. We're not ready for that just yet. So, got the onions in one bowl. I might honestly Let me rinse off. And then while we're waiting, we can cut all these little onion pieces off. But I want to cut up these mushrooms, right? Let's open it up. Mushrooms. I want to keep them about the same thickness. Right in here. They will cook down. Once this water, I don't know if you can see the camera this way. Once this water here gets to a roaring boil, we're going to toss the asparagus right in there. It should only cook about like five minutes or so. With that being said, let's put and then we're going to want the strainer right there. So because the mushrooms are full of water, you want to saute them first before anything else in that pan. Not put any liquid. In fact, judging by the heat on this, is actually slightly too hot for the mushrooms. We're going to dial it a little bit down. Yeah, I love mushrooms. They might actually be button mushrooms. But you try to keep them about the same thickness. Oh, I tore that one up. Oh. Now these look like a lot of mushrooms, but they're gonna cook down go wonderfully with the steak. Ooh. Oh, you don't eat mushrooms, Christoph? That's okay. I'll just eat all your mushrooms then. Oops, this one broke too. Mine as well. When I was a kid, and my mom was cutting up mushrooms like this, I would take them out and eat them right off um the cutting board. Which reminds me, because mushrooms are full of water, we're going to use this coarse salt, which is different than table salt, and we're going to I think, yeah, once I cook them, I'll put them in. But the coarse salt is better to cook with. So we're almost good with prepping, and we're keeping all the dishes down too. I've never had okra. I think okra always looked weird. But right here, and then with the pans getting hot, going to be grabbing our cooking utensils. This is actually for the mac and cheese. So good, you have to try some one day, but it has to be fried. Okay. Like I'm down. We might have to turn up the fan. And I'm sorry if you guys can't hear me over it. I'm using the microphone from this camera instead of the microphone from that camera. So hopefully y'all can hear me better than you could the last stream. I'm gonna put a vote in the chat actually. Yeah. Yay! Okay, so I'm gonna put a vote in the chat. Which one are we doing? Cavatap? Oh wait, Cavatapi or Carapali, which is the bow ties or the mac and cheese. So you can't choose by colors. Let me freaking. Oh my god, you can like see the green from my face. I was trying to like. Oh, thank you for the bits, Travis. You want the bow tie? Well, we're gonna put a poll up. We're gonna see. I'm acknowledging you, Beaver Shack. How's your stream going? I seen that you started streaming. Yeah, we'll just put 3 minutes. Yeah, 3 minutes on the clock. I appreciate you, Travis. I hope you're doing well. It's pretty cold over there, right? It's cold over here. See how this is? Actually, I don't think you can see it. You can see it on this camera, on the left camera, right? Left, right? Yeah. You can see it like billowing smoke. I turn up the fan. That's because that is now a roaring boil. So we're going to take, I actually feel like this is not enough asparagus. So we're going to really quickly probably like a bunch more, a handful more. Cannabis, what do you think about this camera stuff? I think this camera, these 3 cameras are working better than the last time I tried this, but it's work in progress. I think, Travis, you also saw my last stream, right? Oh, my last cooking stream? So yeah, now that there's like a whole, I keep a handful because I'm feeding 4 to 5 people, depending on if any of my other siblings are coming around. So yeah, we're going to drop it right in there. It is 7:16, so at about 7:20, we will pull them out, put them in the strainer, hit them with the cold water to stop the cooking process because we're going to saute them again in this pan later. So yeah, this pan right here is hot. Yay! All right, so we are going to dump the mushrooms. Even cooking one side. And hit it with some salt. And that's just help remove all the water. And we're going to definitely have that on the low. Right on there. It's right on top. While we wait, I thought I heard Sister Rose's name or Sister Rose's voice. I was like, what? I had to look. So yeah, now that my cutting board wet, I'm gonna put my rag down there. Hold it first. Okay. Alright, let's do this. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we're gonna be using, like I said, 3 types of cheese. 2 of which I'm gonna shred. So there's mild cheddar. I don't know if y'all see that mild cheddar. And then some Gruyere as well. I don't know, I'm trying. I wanted to get multiple angles, so the camera setting is crazy, and my family is definitely feeling like I keep holding my kitchen hostage, with so many cameras around. Yeah. I have a whole thing behind me that you saw in the last stream, but so yeah, you see them getting toasty, and that's all draining the water. That's really because of the salt and the heat. Yeah. Make sure to keep an even layer on that, right? And then it's actually 1 minute past, but it's okay because the asparagus will get a little soft. is again. Now we're keeping the water with the vegetables from these, or vegetable juice from the asparagus for the pasta to get that extra bit of nutrients. But the problem with some cooking techniques, right, is that it makes it yummy, but they kind of ruin the nutritional integrity of the food. Yeah, the most important part of with blanching vegetables is honestly the cold rinse after. You want to hit it. But yeah, cold rinsing the asparagus keeps it bright green when you saute. Hi, Ganja. Hey, hey, thank you so much. Wait, did you just raid me? Five Nation train. Hey, let's go. Yeah, we're cooking today. It's Wicked Recipe Wednesdays. This is only the second time I've ever done this type of stream, but we're doing it. We're doing it. You know. So now we're gonna replace this back here to get this up to a roaring boil. What did um our anybody see what uh the poll was? What poll ended? Yeah, view results. It ended up being cavatappi. Oh, but you guys, I thought you guys wanted bow tie. Well, we're gonna have to do the cavatappi then. It is what it is. So yeah, once these are getting, you see how these are getting like seared? This is very good, very good, very good. Get nice and small. Now at this point, I'm gonna remove them. These are probably, I mean, you can eat them raw. You can eat them at this point, but we're actually gonna take them out, put them back in here because we're gonna re-put them in the pan after the onions are sauteed. But we don't want the mushrooms to get overcooked by leaving them in the pan forever. Now, once again, I only hit the mushrooms with salt at the moment just to dehydrate them. And our seasonings is going on a little bit later. We're going to keep it simple because it's steak. And everybody knows steak you don't season. That's already boiling. Pour it back a little bit. Now look, all those mushrooms cook down this. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, we're gonna put these to the side, okay? And now we're gonna sweat some onions. The onions that we have already diced up. It's gonna go right in the pan. Or did not turn it. Now with onions, you can turn up the heat a little bit so that they sweat. Also helps glaze really. With onions, you really can't overcook them. They just become more translucent. But as they sweat, put on pan, put it on top. Ooh, did you? I love fish. My son doesn't eat fish, but I eat fish. We have water boiling. If I had my bigger mixing bowl, I would just double boil the. When I say double boil, I obviously don't mean boil twice, but I would do the cooking technique of boiling using the pasta water as the base, just because I hate, you want to use less dishes or whatever. But yeah, we're sweating down some onions. I also hate how my cutting board is wet. So we're gonna fix these are for cheeses. And what I'm going to, it's like mushroom bits right here. So, yeah, I'm actually just going to do this just to make my life a bit easier. And now the trick with melting the cheese for the homemade mac and cheese, you guys can't even see that, huh? Okay, hold on. Yeah, better, I think. Ooh, wow, Pokemon. I have to try to catch that real quick. So yeah, the smaller we shred the cheese, the faster it's going to melt, right? So I think for the cheddar, I'm going to go with this rate. And then probably for the Gruyere, I'm going to do this. This is kind of like your front tooth one. It's very rigid. But we're going to do cheddar cheese just because it's easier. And we're going to use a lot of this, honestly. Probably about like half of the whole thing, if I'm being legit. This is an 8-ounce cheese block. So I always, when I use half of something, the half with the use by date is what I put in bag. That way you know how old it is. I do that with bacon. I do that with anything that I use only half of. That way we know it's not super old. I mean, cheese just ages, right? But I'm going to shred this whole thing. I'm going one way. I'm not going up and down like that. I'm just going like petting, like what you'd pet a cat. Let's stir the onions a little bit. We're getting a nice little sear on that. And we're about to probably hit it with Worcestershire sauce. And then once they start getting a little bit more translucent, and one layer on cast iron. I don't know if everybody likes cheese. I like cheese. I've recently tried, not recently, but I guess within the last like 6 months, tried goat cheese. It was pretty good. I made like a little homemade charcuterie board for me and my girl Leanne. You love goat cheese? Nice. Now, this being mild cheddar is what's going to give us the, like, um, you know, like the nostalgia part of the mac and cheese. Very good. Gotta be careful when it gets to the end here. Keep it nice and fluffy, right? Because if you squish this down, okay, Candace, what do you think? It's like I like the camera set up better how it is here, but yeah, I don't want to squish down the cheese because that's gonna make it all stick together. The reason why shredded cheese, and at least in America, doesn't stick together in the packages is because they actually coat it with this like powder, and yeah, so this will stick together if I squish it. So we're gonna keep it nice and fluffy. Let's check on our onions. Now, it's unfortunate that you guys, I might, yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do. So, I mean, we're going to put the heat on here. And I'm going to grab the cast iron out, oven mitt, grab the oven mitt, transfer it over here. I'm going to put this pan here because I want you guys to see how I make the thing. Now, you can make mac and cheese from scratch a few ways. One is with a roux, where you brown butter and flour together to make like a thickener. But because I'm using a cream cheese base, I don't think it needs the thickener. So we're gonna skip that. But probably in a future video or stream or whatever, I'm going to show you guys how to make a roux and how, like, because that's a fun. This is cooking down. I might honestly hit it with a splash of water, just because I want the onions to be transparent before I hit it with the Worcestershire sauce. You know, so what we're gonna do on this label. Uh, Not too much. Just enough because we transferred the pan. We want to make sure the heat stays consistent. If you look, I don't know if y'all can see, but this is not, they're just about to be slow bubbles. Onions are browning nicely, becoming nice and clear. It's actually going to call sweat. Now this is 7 ounces. This cheese was like, I think it was 8 ounces, but we're using half, which is 4. I'm only going to use like a fifth of this 7-ounce cheese. And then, I don't know, we're going to measure the cream cheese with love, of course. Maybe to hit it with a splash of milk when we go to rub it all in. The onions are almost, I haven't, yeah, I think I'm going to, once the onions are cooked down the way I want it, deglaze the pan with Worcestershire, hit it with the steak bites. Yeah. So I should probably, I can cut the Gruyere right now. Honestly, see, it has the sell by. So we're going to cut it on this first. That way we can keep the sell by and the name of the cheese. That way in the fridge, we're like, what is this? Hello, Ace. Welcome on in. We're doing steak bites, homemade mac and cheese, and asparagus. So we have some mild cheddar right here, shredded down. I'm about to shred some Gruyere cheese as well, which is a Finnish cheese. It's from Finland. But I chose Gruyere because it melts really well. We already blanched our asparagus. And, yeah, I'm going to use about 1/5 of this Gruyere 7 ounces. And I try to always, also welcome in, thank you. I try to keep the name of it, of the sub by. Ooh, that cheese is so good. On it, when you don't use the whole thing, so that when you put it away, you're like, oh, it's Gruyere, and it's good for this long. Because these little labels on the back, they suck, man. Nobody likes them. But yeah, this is Wicked Good Recipe Wednesdays, where every Wednesday I would make a dinner. Later, so I live stream on all kinds of platforms, on Twitch, Kick, YouTube, and most recently Bigo Live, right? Bigo is going to get me making chocolate covered strawberries for dessert. Yeah, my onions are almost done, and then we're about to take them. I don't know, leave them in for a few more minutes. I know it like cools down the pan a little bit, but I really do love deglazing onions, splash of water, just because, in my opinion, bubbles seem kind of like flash cook it faster. So it's like once this water evaporates, these onions will become complete. And then we can put them in, oh, probably the second one, in with this. Oh, do you need the sink? Yeah, I'm gonna shred in this. This is very soft cheese. I want to be careful. That's why I chose the multi-teeth one. Let me show. Why I chose this one because it has the multiple teeth and it's easier. Once again, in one direction. You don't want to go in both directions. If it was like a hard cheese, like Parmesan, then you could go like scrub it, but you don't want to scrub a soft cheese like this. You definitely want to go in one direction. Keep it nice and fluffy so it doesn't stick together. Oh. But I don't know. I am a mom and a cook on a budget. So all this stuff I either got on sale or didn't get like this name brand version because you don't really need that sort of stuff. Anything I cook, y'all will be able to cook as well. But where did you come from, Ace? Who sent you? A wild worm appears. My hand's full of Gruyere, so I'm not going to be able to grab it. Yeah, once again, still going in one direction. You don't want to cut your hands. Some people would use like a piece of plastic, but you just have to be careful, You don't want to don't want to hurt yourself. But also because we're melting it, it's not that big of a deal. It's just, like I said, easier for it to melt nice and quick. Shredded. You do not want to pack it in. You want to stay nice and fluffy. So don't stick, because then what's the point of even shredding, Because the pasta is going to be done soon. Asparagus right off to the side. And now our onions are done. I will show you that in a second. And once again, because cast iron retains its heat, you're going to want to turn it back down to fairly low. And then let me show you caramelized onions, right? So we have the onions next to the mushrooms. And then I'm going to turn this thing way down because this is getting And something for you. So yeah, we'll move all this here. I want to throw the cream cheese in here first. So I'm definitely going to need one of those heat on that. I'm going to use probably the silicone one just to hold it in place. But yeah, so we're going to use, I don't know, like 2 scoops of and this isn't super boiling yet, so that's how we're gonna. I am gonna hit this cast iron with the Worcestershire sauce. Just to glaze it. And once that starts searing in, now the steak's gonna cook wicked fast. Yeah, actually, I think I'm gonna put it real low because I'm at the same time that the steak is cooking, I'm doing the cheese sauce. Still, this needs to be turned up, and I do not want to burn either or. Both these things are. Oh, I appreciate it. You making only those sometimes. You know, everybody's got to eat. It don't matter how you decide to eat. So yeah, we're gonna put the mushrooms. Now you know what? I'm just gonna throw the steak in first, just because I do not want that stuff to overcook. Yeah, we have a little bit of cube steak right in here, and because the mushrooms and stuff are all done, now we can use this, right? And again, 1 layer steak. You want it all to cook at the same time. You're going to hit it with a little bit of garlic. Oh yeah, we got it. We got it. We got it. And again, measure with your heart, just with love. So I'm just gonna a little bit. That's about a tablespoon maybe. Thank you for feeding Crab Burgundy steak, Travis. This is what got him the VIP sticker. He's always treating my pets lovely and well. Yeah, these steaks all ready. Now we don't want to overcook it. We like our steak medium rare. But sear all sides of it. Way down. Throw the onions back in there. The mushrooms as well. Hit it with Worcestershire sauce again. Then I'm gonna put it away so I don't waste too much. Yeah, we're just gonna move all that stuff around. You definitely don't want to overcook the steak. And I turned up the heat that was on low for the cheese sauce. So definitely, now that this is on nice and low, we're gonna have to get wicked slow. You do not want. You know what? I took too much. Now you see, you can probably see this pan is starting to melt the cream cheese, right? And you don't want that to burn. This is where timing really matters. You got the steak going nice and slow. I actually am going to switch burners so that cooks way more evenly up here. And then this, we're going to hit it with a splash. Milk. Oh, that's not milk. Thank goodness I looked, huh? That's freaking, we're going to be a little bougie. We're going to do a little bit of heavy cream instead. Just a splash, though. You don't want to overfill, especially this bowl being so small right here. But I almost put freaking apple cider in there. Let's see. Yeah, you can see it from that camera. Yeah, we're gonna keep it moving. Now the cream cheese, if you had cubed it or made it nice and small, it would melt a lot faster. I just kind of scooped it. Just gonna let it sit right there. It's less prone to burning now that you put the cream or milk in it. Hey, check out Amazon Prime. I want to get that free. You're lying. And you know your screen name always gets me, sir. I'm always like, who the flip? I know who that is. Yeah, we got only like 2 more minutes or so on the steak. Even though we were cooking it on low. Steak cooks really fast, you know? And then once we remove the steak, so some of these pieces are little. Hi, Jay. Hope you're well. How's the wife and the girlfriend, Mr. J of the Den? How's the family? Definitely, see it's cooking on down. Yeah, this is going to be very nice, very nice. The wife is great. Charlie! Hi, Charlie. You think so? I've been debating on if I don't know if you saw my last cooking stream, but literally, you know, I think something in me. Let's check the sodium level that Worcestershire sauce because I want to put salt on the steak, but I feel like there's mad sodium in it already. Oh, you missed it? Swear to Shiva, I really will gift it. I only watched the gaming stream. Instantly. So yeah, with this, the cream is now melting. Cream cheese. We're folding. I don't know if you can see me folding. Hi. Yeah, I'm not even gonna look at it. I'm just pretty sure that the Worcestershire sauce has like soy sauce in it. and that my instincts of wanting to put salt on this steak is actually going to ruin it. So, once again, making sure it's an even amount everywhere. Because once it's done, I'm going to put it, transport to here. So it's nice and hot. Because we need that pan to saute the asparagus. Yes, sir. This is definitely going to turn down the heat a little bit because I do not want to burn my cheese sauce. No, sirree. Definitely not. I might hit it with the. We already put some heavy cream in it. I'm definitely going to have to put like maybe milk to keep it nice and liquidy. I don't want to throw the Gruyere and the cheddar cheese in it until these steaks are like off. I'm afraid with the whisking and shit, it's not going to burn. Yeah, just like a little bit longer. Yeah. I like your Fallout emoji, Trolley. Fridays, we're putting Fallout Friday back on the map. So yeah, this cheese melting nice. Like I said, it's like 2 scoops of cream cheese, a splash of heavy cream. Put a little. I don't like that. I think the cream would be better. And after dinner, we are making chocolate covered strawberries. But not on Twitch or Kick. It's actually going to be on Vigo. Keep stirring. Stirring, yeah. See, I knew it. Like 30 seconds more. Done. Let me freaking. Thank you for the hydrate. Now, because all that's left is mac and cheese, I'm going to throw the pan that's been hot on high. That starts to boil. It's going to take like 8 to 10 minutes to boil, and that's about how long it's going to take me to melt that cheese. Then once it's all done, I'm going to hit it with probably Italian seasoning. But removing the steak from this cast iron is what's going to help the steak from overcooking, and also it'll help rest it. And then thank you for feeding Pepper Goody. I'm gonna wait, but I'm gonna definitely taste test this steak. Yeah, you put it on the lid, it'll stay nice. And now if you see this melting nice and easy. Nice and easy. All right, you guys, are you ready? Because we are about to fold in the cheese. This is a cream cheese and heavy cream base. Welcome back, Jay. So yeah, we're going to start, and only a little at a time. You know, I'm just gonna only a little at a time. That way, you want to shred it. I don't know if you see, because we shredded this cheese and we made it nice and thin so that it melts super quick. And we're gonna turn down the heat. That way we don't break it. We're just gonna fold it in. Gonna get rid of all the lumps, make it nice and thin. And once again, this technique is called double boiling. And it's when you have things that will easily burn, like cheese or chocolate, which we're going to utilize freaking double boiling for the chocolate covered strawberries as well. I don't have TikTok, but I did hear about that. But no, I shredded my cheese myself, so it doesn't have the sulfate or anything in it. Now that with the melting, you want to continuously add small handfuls. Doesn't matter in what ratio, as long as all the cheese ends up nice and melted. So you could start with all the Gruyere and then the cheddar, or like me, just mixing it up as it comes. You want to make sure to keep all the cheese moving, because that is what's going to prevent it from burning. That's probably a little too much, so I fold it in. Is that at a boil? It's bound to be at a boil. I definitely have to start doing this earlier. I was having trouble setting up all my cameras in my kitchen. But yeah, we're going to dump the pasta in. It's going to be 8 to 10 minutes about. Oh man. This cheese has already been sitting just by like the weight of it. And so you definitely want to spread it as you drop it in with constantly stirring motions, folding it in. Now you can really smell the cheddar and the Gruyere. Because cream cheese, heavy cream doesn't really have a scent to it, but Gruyere especially is a very nutty cheese with a lot of body. So that's what's going to bring this mac and cheese. Like I said, my heat is on low for the bottom pan. And want to keep all the cheese moving. Definitely don't want That's where the silicone spatula like this is perfect for it, honestly. Oopsie, I didn't want to plop it in. Definitely want to keep it as far apart as you can, just because you don't want to make it take forever to melt. Almost under the big top, almost. Don't tell the men I know how to cook, or else Beagle boys are gonna go crazy. Yeah, I love how thick this is coming out. Nice and transparent, but you gotta make sure to mix it. You have those chunks. I'm getting a little impatient. That's why I'm putting more and more cheese in there at a time. Because honestly, the slower you go in the small amount of cheese and how small you shred it, the better. But I got a hungry kid to feed, and it's already 8 o'clock on a school night. Because I'm always running late for everything in my life. Thank you. You missed me cooking the steak up. Also, Cannabis, what do you think of the new camera layouts? Like with all of them? I don't know. And I can just feel the pasta when it's done just by like stirring it. It's like halfway. Thank you, Mr. Pookit. What is that? I don't know what that is. Stratagem. Hey, wait a minute. That's your other freaking account, right? I know you. Oh, man, thank you for the prime sub. That's probably why it wasn't working earlier, right, Sign? MVP right there. Let's go. Hey, look, I made it. Look at this yummy freaking cheese sauce right there. Nice and thick. Wholesome ingredients. This wasn't an expensive dinner either. You can see him getting impatient, just dumping all the rest of the cheese in. But that's okay. Thank you. And it's folding. You gotta let me know which of all the emotes is your favorite. I really like the Defiantly Beloved one, but I think that's a forbid, so I forget how I set it up. It's also the one of me drinking the tea, which is super cool. Oh, we got like a minute left on this cavatappi. I can feel it. And then look at how smooth and cheesy this cheese is. Look at that. Looks like Velveeta, dude. Let's see. Ooh. Great. Now I gotta rinse it. Look, see? Oh, geez. Let me show you. Look at that. This straight looks like Velveeta, dude. See? And that was like, what, 4 ingredients? Oh. Not bad, not bad. You definitely don't want it to burn. Why? Move this over off of the heat. This cast iron is still hot. Grab it and grab. Shrody. Oh, Shrody's here. Yes, yes, I can feel it right now. The pasta's done. Go lay down. Go. Let's move this over. And listen, you always for music. Hold the flow. For you, control the flow. Now, I this see it. You can see it. Oh, no. And now, because we made the homemade cheese sauce, right? We don't want the pasta soaking all that in. Uh, you could do you do exclamation point poke start. Yeah, what we're gonna do, I don't know, like 2 tablespoons butter right into the pasta. It's that. Mix it up. Then once that's all mixed up, I'm actually gonna put the Italian seasoning straight on the pasta and butter, and then we're gonna fold in the cheese. That being said, this pan is ready for the asparagus, which we've already blanched. Then I always use steak seasoning. You want to make 1 layer, right? We're going to lower the heat from medium to low. Make one layer asparagus. Looks beautiful. And we're gonna hit it with the steak seasoning. Let that see for a minute while I mix this up. Like I said, you want to hit the pasta with a little bit of butter first because the naked noodles would have soaked all of my cheese sauce off, and I would have had to like triple my cheese sauce in order to make mac and cheese nice and gooey. And now we hit the butter first. It's gonna soak all those noodles with the butter. That being said, and then we got Italian seasoning, which is rosemary, oregano, thyme, and parsley, I think. Sounds like it. Yeah, so yeah. Mix all that up. She's gonna put a little bit more Italian seasoning. Yeah, I prefer to blanch it so it stays bright green, and then I sear it in a skillet to have that like crispy edge on it, but the inside is still nice, soft. Yeah, I've always blanched it, and then um, let me move this. I want to show you guys. I'm folding it in. You guys think I could, maybe? Oh, hold on. Maybe? Maybe? Better? Better. Okay. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Toolkit. Hope you have a great day at work. So yeah, I'm gonna take this cheese sauce, fold it in. That way. Yeah, I'll be posting like pics of everything once it's done. This needs to be just a wee bit hotter. Dude, the mac and cheese smells so good, you guys. Yeah, dude, I'm so down for how smooth that cheese is. You just gotta know how to make it, dude. I might put it, honestly, make this a little bit richer. It might be, it might be just me being freaking a brat, but I think I'm gonna One, let's not burn the asparagus. Two, oh, meats. Jeez Louise, you guys, I dropped my most expensive camera. Why? Why the most expensive one? Why couldn't it be the cheap one? I don't know. So good. Now, I'll hit it with a little milk. And put it back on the stove just to get a nice buttery consistency. Because as soon as that butter touched the pasta, it cooled the pasta down. And then the mac and cheese, the macaroni, whatever, you just want to make sure it's hot. So put that back on here. These are done. Start plating. First up, me son. I'm gonna shut this pan off as well. Mass Machines here. Let's go. Like I said, I put this back on, but the stove was off because I just wanted to heat it. Let me show you. Let me show you. And just because um, I'm going to show you guys. right there. Good, medium, rare. Good, medium, rare. Alright, well, it's been super fun. And I hope to see you guys next time. We'll be posting pictures on the Discord. But for now, let's say goodbye to the Kick stream. And let's wait out on Twitch.